Hey guys, I'm Lauren Wireman, creator of Wildflowers Nails. So this week I am going to show you how to do sort of a trippy galaxy nail utilizing the Wildflowers inks, the Wildflowers Angel Flakes, and our clear builds in a bottle and our salon shape form. So I'm just going to sculpt it out on my own finger, and I hope you guys learn something and enjoy. All right, so here we go. I have a Wildflowers salon shape form. I'm just using a paper one today. So I'm going to remove the center part. And when I'm using forms, I like to actually close them up first. I feel like I have a better success when I close them first. I'm going to go for a stiletto shape. So that means I'm actually going to close up the entire front of this form all the way. And when you're doing a stiletto shape nail, the form actually needs to tilt down a bit. Because you have to use these lines to kind of imagine where the nail's going to end. So if you need to, you may need to get in here and you may need to cut the form a little bit. I think I'll be okay. These forms are super sticky. There we go. That's better. Some people like to do what's called a relief cut when they're using forms. That would be, I don't know, hopefully you can see this purple line right here. It's just the line that intersects with the edge of the nail, or possibly even this blue line somewhere probably in between the two is where I would cut my form. Same thing on the other side. If you really examine, it would be that yellow line right there that's intersecting with the very end of my nail if I wanted to create a relief cut. So I think I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm just going to pop this back off, and I've got a set of nippers I'm just going to use. You can use scissors or nippers. But on this side, we were right between the purple and blue. I'm just going to come in here and give it a little nip, just following the line. So the line actually goes diagonally that way. And if you want to, you can actually remove that whole section. And same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in here, and we said where the yellow line was for this side. So come in and do a relief cut. We're just going to remove that whole section. So now, so I fit this on my finger. Should fit pretty snug. Relief cuts really help to relieve the pressure that the skin right here puts on the form. And a lot of times it causes the form to bend and do things that you don't want it to do. When your form is tilted downward, you should definitely have a fin up here. And then you should be able to secure this pretty well on the underside. So now you can imagine when the nail comes straight out, you can use these lines to sort of imagine where it's going to end. So I'm using the Wildflowers system to build this nail out. And that starts with just the base. So here's the base. I'm going to use the tinted base just because it's a little easier to see. Most of the time I do like to put this on before I do my form. That way I don't accidentally, you know, touch my nail and contaminate it with the oils from my skin. while I'm putting the form on, because it's really easy to do that, especially when you're first starting out doing nails. So this is going to cure for about 30 seconds. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is use the Wildflowers Clear Build in a Bottle to build out just a thin extension. We're trying to keep it really thin right now and just sort of build out this stiletto shape. So there's a few ways to do this. One way is to begin sort of with a glob of product right there in the center. And you can continue to use this brush to pull it into its shape. If you want to, like this is our blue striping brush. I kind of like this for doing stilettos because of the long shape of the brush. So you can actually use this if you want to and sort of pull this out into shape. And keep in mind, you really don't have to do the whole thing at once. If you want to start there and just pull out that center part and then give it a flash cure to just hold it in place, you can. It's up to you. So you don't have to do every single part all at once when you are extending out the nail. You can flash it. It takes probably about, I would say, 10 seconds under the flash cure light to really get a good solid flash cure. And I know this is a little bit hard to see. So we'll pull that out, we'll flash it in place. Sometimes it's better to work with control rather than to take the build in a bottle brush and try to just have enough control to get it into a perfect stiletto. I mean, it's really hard to do that. So I'm not gonna try to just do that in one go with the brush, because I find sometimes when I do that it just gets out of control really quickly. Like I lose control of the product and it'll end up being lumpy in some spots and not lumpy in other spots. But these lines on the form are really important. You want to make sure you're following those lines as you pull the product out. And you want to try your best to get all the way over to the edge. With the product. Again, you don't have to do it that way, but like I said, I feel like it gives me a little bit more control, and I feel pretty confident and comfortable doing it that way, and I end up with a nice thin extension. Something important to do is to use your light line to check this. So I'm just watching that white straight line that you see there. I'm kind of watching that line over this, and it looks like what's happening over here is I need just a little more product right through there. So I'm going to add some of my clear build in a bottle. And I really want to make sure that I have a nice strong edge here. And that the product really comes all the way to the edge, which I think that's perfect now. So we'll give that, I mean, this would be enough right here to just move on to the next finger if we wanted to. Just like this little 10-second flash cure. Another thing I like to do before removing this form is I like to a lot of times just go and put like a nice thin coat over the whole nail. And what that does, especially back here, is it joins the areas together at that intersection where the nail is leaving my natural nail. And that can be a place that can be a little bit troublesome. Sometimes you'll have a dip right there, which this actually looks really nice. I have a really smooth transition without a dip, but it just strengthens the whole thing to go ahead and do a coat over the whole thing. So I'm putting that in like the regular light for a full cure. What I'm going to do now is grab my Wildflowers Build in a Bottle in white. And I'm going to utilize the clear again. And I'm going to just give it sort of a swirly type of look. I'll be using this blue striping brush from Wildflowers as well. I also have ready to go my Angel Flakes. So I am going to place some of these flakes into the gel once I have it doing what I want. So for right now, I'm going to take and I'm going to remove the form. So you remove the form by pinching and definitely pulling down. And as you can see, I have a nice thin extension here. It's not over applied, it's not globby, it's not goopy, but it definitely wouldn't hold up for any length of time. I really like looking at it this way too, because you can really see how nice and controlled the product was and how even and thin the product was. So that's the way I like to start my foundation out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab my clear Built in a Bottle, and I'm just going to do a real thin coat. Again, going over the whole nail. And now I'm going to use the white Built in a Bottle, and I'm going to get some kind of like swirling. So I'm working on a silicone mat. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that product on the mat. Pick that up and, you know, just kind of whirl it through there. And I'll grab my flakes. And I'm going to start placing my flakes on here. You don't need to, ooh, look at that big flake. You don't really need to coat the whole nail in flakes. I like that thing a lot. It's just kind of big. There we go. Okay. So got some flakes going. We can come again with this white gel if we want to. Sort of makes things look a little bit smoky. But the more you can do down in that bottom layer, the more depth the nail is going to have. So at this point, we can go ahead and we can cure this. Again, my nail's staying really thin. So we'll give that a cure. And we're going to play with some inks. So these are the Wildflowers inks. I have a, oh, I think I grabbed the wrong one. My bad. One sec. Okay, I meant to grab a purple, not a green. So I have a blue, I have a purple, and I have a gray. So we can do the inks now if we want to, or we can wait until a little bit later. The inks are going to act different depending on like the when and the where and how. If we do it while the flakes are on there, they're going to, well, let me just show you. They kind of, the flakes are see-through, so they're gonna kind of make the flakes a little bit, the flakes are still gonna stand out, but they tend to, sorry, just opening this up. They tend to kind of gather around the flakes in a neat way, so. And what's really cool about this is just the overall kind of transparency of the nail. Okay. So the ink is alcohol based, so it's gonna dry. And we can come over top of this with our build in a bottle. I do want to add some more white. I really love the effect that the white has, the sort of milky look that it gives it. So I'm going to come in here with a little more of that white. And this time I don't have the clear to mix it with. So it's not really mixing with the clear, so it's not like sinking down and kind of disappearing. It's just sort of smoky, and it's mixing with the ink, which is really kind of cool. And again, if we want to come with even more flakes, do sort of another layer of flakes, we can do those. Kind of a technique of layering many different things to get the final look that we're going for. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cure this. And we have to encapsulate all of this. And what's really cool is we have the opportunity again with the inks if we want. But for right now, we're gonna just take this clear build in a bottle and we're gonna encapsulate. So I'm just gonna clean up my mat here. And I need to have my flash cure light ready. This is gonna be very important on this step as we sort of build this to encapsulate it, because again, it's still extremely thin. So I'm gonna come in with quite a glob of product on here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just coat my whole nail. It's important to cover the whole thing before you come in and start to build. So then I'm going to get a pretty large glob. I'm going to take that glob down the center. If I need to flip upside down, I can flip upside down. What you want to avoid is you want to avoid bubbles. So you don't want to have bubbles in the gel. And then I'm going to start up my flash cure light, flip this over, and I'm gonna cure this in place. Now you don't have to do a full 30-second cure between every one, and that's good to know. What you wanna try to do is you wanna try to get it past the heat spike. So this gel does have a heat spike. I can't feel a thing. I would say it happens between probably 10 and 12 seconds in an LED light, but you don't wanna be applying your gel so thick that you're making your customer uncomfortable as you do this. So definitely go easy, build the nail in layers. So I have my first layer on there. Honestly, didn't feel anything. And you can see close up. I mean, this is gorgeous. It's really, I love what that white does. Look at how cool white looks like clouds in there, doesn't it? And we can have the opportunity to darken it more, but that's gonna come on the top layers. So again, we're gonna go and build this nail where we need to build it. I would say we don't need a whole lot on top of the natural nail anymore. My sides might be able to use a little bit more gel. So let's take a look at this before we just start globbing gel. I think right through this section right here definitely could use a little more gel. So I'm going to come through here, start that glob, and just sort of pull it right down the middle and give it just a few seconds to settle. And it's going to start to just gently settle, and that's when you want to be quick and come in there with your flash cure light to freeze that and lock it in place. So I'll just turn this so you can kind of see where we just filled in a good bit. So it definitely is looking better. And again, you only need about 10 to 12 seconds to get it to where you need it. I definitely do advise you to do like one final cure when you've reached the end of it all. And look at this nail from many different ways. So I'm looking at my nail this way. I'm seeing that it looks like I've got, you know, a good bit of product over here, but maybe on this edge it could use just a little bit more. So I'll grab my build in a bottle and come through here just along that edge to bulk that up a little bit. I think this is going to be a really cool nail. And as you can see, when I turn the nail this way, it definitely thickened it up a bit. I love all the depth, just as I'm looking through this nail, all of that beautiful depth that created. And you saw me do it, like I wasn't being super methodical as I did stuff. I was just kind of slopping the product down the nail and, you know, seeing what happened. So also gonna look straight down the barrel of this nail to check out where it's high or low. And as you guys can see, it definitely looks like a little high over here. So I can go in and just right in there, maybe add one more little bit. But this, after I put this on, it's gonna go in the light for the final cure. I think we're definitely good. And we've got plenty of product on here. So I have a nice strong nail. All right, I'm gonna put that in for a final cure. Okay, so I've just finished my filing and I'm getting ready to give it a wipe and put the top coat on. After I wipe it, I'm going to kind of check it out and see what I think about it. Just everything about it, about the colors, the depth of it. Do I like it? Do I feel like it should be darker? Should I add more color? I don't know. So I'm really gonna kind of take a good look at it while it's in this state. And you know, it is matted, so if I did love it matte, which it's pretty nice, if I like the way that it looks matte, I could go ahead with the Wildflowers matte top coat. Or if I like it kind of, I don't know, I'm a little bit conflicted. I kind of like the matte. I'm sure everybody's gonna have their own opinion. I am gonna go ahead, I do want to add some darkness to it, so I am gonna go ahead with my gray ink. To just add a little bit of darkness to it, just a little bit of depth. And now, should you choose to go matte, this is really important for you to know. Matte top coat is matte because it's in a suspension base. That means it's gonna pick up pigments or anything like that. I'm gonna get this little spot where my real nail is showing a little bit. There we go. Matte is going to pick up the pigment particles. So it's really important to know and to understand that that's what matte's going to do. Because of that, you're going to want to put first, if you decide to do matte, first a regular top coat, like top coat gel. So this is the Wildflowers Top Coat Gel. I will go ahead and I will put this on. So those of you who are, okay, go this way. Those of you who are screaming right now at your, whatever you're watching on, shiny, shiny. You'll get to see the shiny because I'm putting the shiny on now. And I'm not sure what that little goober is in the middle. Hopefully it doesn't cause trouble for me. As I put my shiny top coat on, I'm letting the brush kind of go around the edge as I come down. That is some kind of goober. Okay, so watch this. Do you see this little like thing right here? I'm just gonna use my nippers. And I'm not sure what that is. If it's, I think I got whatever it was. I don't know if it was a bubble or a fuzz that got caught in a little bubble. I'm gonna take my top coat and just, yeah, that must be what it was. Oops. But yeah, check this out. I mean, check out the depth. Check out the way the angel flakes catch the light. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I love the way they just kind of come out of nowhere. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this. After that, I'll put the matte on. Maybe. I don't know. I really like this. I don't know. Okay, let me cure this. I'll be back. All right, so just came out of the light. Here is the nail shiny. Look at how amazing that is. I know I need cuticle oil and all that stuff, so I'll do that in a second, but just wanted to show off how beautiful this is, shiny. And, oh, gosh, that's gorgeous. So funny how such a little effort can make, I mean, as like so little artistic effort is what I'll say. So little artistic effort can make such a gorgeous nail with all that shiny stuff popping through. So for those of you who are like, matte, do it matte, I'm gonna do it matte now. This is our Wildflowers matte top coat. Let me turn my finger. Guys, it's hard to work on myself, but my daughter's out of town and my daughter's got great fingers for me to work on. So again, if you want to do matte, please make sure that you put down regular top coat first. Regular gel top coat. Because it will contaminate your matte if you don't. And then you'll be calling us like, my matte's making my light colors look gray, or my matte's making my light colors look yellow. It's because it's contaminated. With the pigments that it's been picking up. All right, so I've got the matte on there. I will use my Flash Cure Light because that's Tay's favorite, and Tay does the video editing, and she loves to watch the nail go from shiny to matte. Wow, this is really cool too. Okay, I'm glad I did this. So yeah, it's matte so fast. I mean, I need to cure this, but wow. Okay, let me put this in for a regular cure. And so again, just to kind of a quick recap, let me grab you if I can. Well, let me turn you so that we can see each other. There we go. All right, my hand's on the light. So just as a quick, oh, okay, well, hello. Yes, we're out there. I'll just hold you for a second. Okay, so as a quick recap, just pulled my finger out of the light. We used today the matte top coat, the top coat gel, the Wildflowers inks. Most important player of the week is the Wildflowers Angel Flakes. So if you guys don't have that, make sure you pick them up. I'm going to flip this camera back over and show you the finished matte nail, and I'm going to add some oil because I know I need cuticle oil. Everybody knows, we know. All right, so here's the finished nail in matte, which I love because watch the way it catches the light, you guys. I like the matte a lot. I think the matte might be the winner. If I could go back and change anything about it, I'd probably get a little closer in there with my ink. I just, you know, didn't know what to expect. So I'll leave it. It doesn't bother me that much. But I'm going to add some oil now. Give myself some oil. I am going to tell you, you should always be using oil with a dropper. If you are getting oiled in a salon, should never be from a brush. That's super disgusting. If a nail tech is dipping a brush into a bottle and then sticking it back in the oil. Reason being is because oil doesn't disinfect itself. So all these other products like the gels and the top coats and the acrylics, those all are self-disinfecting. So that means that they're going to, it's going to kill all the germs when it goes back in the bottle. But oil definitely does not do that. So be sure you're using your oil with a dropper. And so, yeah, okay, there. Now you can't judge my crusty finger, you guys. So there we go. I like it matte. Let's keep it matte. Winner, winner, winner. All right, I hope that you enjoyed learning how to do this fancy galaxy nail. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. I'm not sure what's coming up next week because I don't have my schedule in front of me, but I hope that you're enjoying these YouTube videos in this different format. I know it's not quite the way we've been doing stuff, but I hope that you're learning things. And I love teaching and I love you guys. So be sure to subscribe if you liked it. Last week's video, which is why I've got these two pink and white nails on, I did a side-by-side pink and white with the Wildflower Sculptor Build System versus traditional acrylic, just to see the difference in application. So anyway, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Everything I used in this video can be found at wildflowersnails.com. We've got an incredible online nail supply store. And you can find everything that I used there at the store. If you want the base products, you click on base products. If you're looking for angel flakes, click on art products and inks. You'll be able to find them. So I want to personally invite you to Master Artist Week. Master Artist Week is held in sunny Southwest Florida, and we only have 20 seats available in class. That means class is more than halfway full for February 2020. So if you're trying to get into the February 2020 class, hurry up and sign up to save your seat. I cannot wait. It's going to be an epic week, one that is unforgettable, and I am so excited. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for a new tutorial every Thursday, and don't forget about the website.